Canada picks who gets in using strategic levers. And when you understand them, you can make a PR game plan that helps you make the most of every opportunity. In this video, we'll decode how the system really works and how that understanding powers every decision so you know the mechanics that drive strategy, timing, and eligibility. We're going to cover who actually runs the system, how, when, and why it changes, how the immigration levels plan directs invitations, the 3 PR categories, and how temporary status can be a stepping stone to permanent residence. As we go, you can dive deeper into these concepts with our free tools portal, including our AI Not Code Finder, AI Letter Builder, and the exact templates, guides, and checklist I developed and use with my clients. The link's in the description and pinned comment. So, who runs the system? Everything starts with the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act and regulations. That's the law. On top of that, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada designs policy, runs programs, and processes applications. Canada Border Services Agency enforces the rules at the borders and airports. Provinces and territories also share responsibilities with the federal government. They operate their own programs to address their specific labor market needs. This means there are opportunities both at the federal level and through individual provinces and territories. And you can often combine the two in your strategy. The Immigration and Refugee Protection Act and its regulations are the bedrock of Canada's immigration system. They set objectives, legal definitions, powers decision makers have, and the rules for every category of immigration. There are different levers the government can pull to shift and change immigration programs and processes. Being aware of these helps safeguard your strategy against sudden changes, usually by having a plan B. For example, the minister can issue ministerial instructions that open or close programs, change selection criteria, or shift priorities overnight. In mid-2023, ministerial instructions created the new category-based express entry draws for French speakers and specific occupations. More recently, in 2025, updated instructions removed job offer points from Express Entry's comprehensive ranking system. IRCC can also introduce public policies. These are special measures to address urgent needs or policy priorities. In 2021, for example, IRCC launched the TR to PR pathway for international graduates and essential workers under a public policy. And in 2024, a different public policy allowed certain postgraduate work permit holders to extend their permits beyond the normal limits. Then there are program delivery instructions. These are the internal manuals for officers. They get updated regularly, sometimes quietly, and change how applications are assessed and the law is applied. In 2025, a program delivery update changed the eligibility for spousal open work permits, limiting them for spouses of study permit holders and skilled workers. And on top of that, the court system plays a key role. Court systems interpret the law in real cases and set precedent for how it's applied in practice, usually filling the gaps between interpretation of the law and the policies. The court rulings recently have clarified how officers must weigh and engage with the evidence in work permit genuineness assessments, and when procedural fairness letters are required before a refusal can be issued. So what does this mean for you? It's normal to see criteria shift even when the law itself hasn't changed. Your eligibility today might not be the same in 6 months. Ministerial instructions, public policies, delivery updates, or court rulings can all change the picture, some more quickly than others. Staying current with these changes is just as important as understanding the rules in the first place. All of this sits under the bigger picture that comes next, the immigration levels plan. The plan works on top of this foundation and directs the focus for the future, deciding which categories and programs get more or fewer spots. Just before we dive into the immigration levels plan, I want to define the 3 PR categories. All permanent resident programs fall into one of these categories. We have the economic class, think skilled workers, express entry, provincial nominees, business immigration. We have the family class, so Canadian citizens and permanent residents can sponsor their spouses, children, parents, grandparents. And finally, we have the refugee and protected persons. If you're not a Canadian citizen by birth or descent, you must become a permanent resident before you can apply for citizenship and a passport. And you'll do so through one of those 3 categories. Knowing your category is step 1. It tells you what programs to focus your energy and what documents you'll need and the timelines to watch. Now, back to the immigration levels plan. Every fall, the federal government tables the immigration levels plan in Parliament, and it's a 3-year roadmap for how many new permanent residents Canada will admit and how those spots will be allocated between the 3 major PR categories. Again, those categories are the economic and family classes and refugees and protected persons. Typically, on an annual basis, roughly 60 to 65% of the allocation goes to economic classes, with another 24% being allocated to family and the rest to the remaining categories. These targets, in turn, dictate how many express entry invitations are issued, how many provincial nominations are available, and how many sponsorship applications can be processed. If this is helping make things clear, hit like so I know to make more deep dives like this. And remember, you can explore these concepts further in our free tools portal. Often, temporary status will be a stepping stone to permanent residence. Not everyone starts as a permanent resident. Many come in temporarily to work or study and then transition to permanent residence. Temporary status can be the fastest way to build what you need for PR, whether it's Canadian experience, improving language ability, or solidifying employer support. With the right planning, temporary status can be your key to becoming a permanent resident of Canada. But without a clear plan, it can expire before you qualify, making it harder to maintain your status in Canada. When you know how the system works, you can focus on the programs you actually qualify for. You can anticipate opportunities before they open. You can time your application for when draw sizes are biggest or when provinces release new streams. This knowledge lets you move forward with clarity, fewer surprises, and more control over your path. Now you understand the structure. Use the link below to instantly access our tools portal. It's free and it's the fastest way to turn what you've learned into an actionable plan.